Namaste, Angel. This is going to be a client reading for one of my repeat and regular clients. She had purchased an hour-long reading to be broken up in two pieces. I do allow people to do that sometimes, to sort of see like a before and after energy, before this shift, after the shift. So rather than purchase two half-hour readings at 66 a piece, one for 88.88, and then it's like getting them each for $44, right? Any case, I am going to see what's doing since her last reading. The last one, there was an indication, not that she would go into separation, but that her and her masculine may stop seeing each other as much as they had been. And she might be moved to spend more time with her son and on herself. And that is exactly what happened. And then when it happened, she slipped back into, what we all do. She's not alone, but, she slipped back into that, oh, maybe we should just, end this or whatever. And we had a talk so she could be reminded that that's exactly what the reading said was going to happen. And, that she needed to be honest with herself, sort of hangman energy, right? She needed to be honest with herself as to whether or not she really wanted to end it, if she would really be happy if she was completely done with him, or, if she was just maybe having a tantrum. And we decided it was a tantrum, moved past that energy, and sure enough, they sort of got back on track. So I already see young male showing up again. This is probably her son again, but we're also beginning with celebration. So that's good, because I know she's looking forward to an important appointment, which has very good numerology. She tried to send me a picture of it. This was weird. She sent me a picture on in Messenger. So I just got a black square, and I'm like, what is it? And she's like, oh, it's the date and time of my appointment. And I'm like, huh? And then she showed me like on Facebook too, where she had it. So that her regular post I saw, and it wasn't a black post. I don't know why it looked black in the Messenger, but that's what I got from her. But she has an appointment on the 19th. I just did a video about the 19th yesterday, and, that being King Osiris's birthday, or at least the day he told me on which to celebrate his birthday. It is also the day this year that the Prophet Muhammad's birthday is being celebrated. It's always celebrated during this month. Not really per se the month of November, but the Muslim month, which began on the 10th of this month, the 9th or 10th of this month, just like the Hebrew month began the same day, the 9th. That's when it was. So it goes from that like first week of November into like the first or second week of December, as opposed to like the Gregorian calendar. So anyway, it always falls in this period, but not necessarily on the same day, because they count 7 days if you're a Sunni, or 12 days if you're another. It doesn't matter. This year it's 11/19, and 11/19 is always going to be a special date for us, but it's that much more this year. Plus we're also like upon the year 11/19, basically 2019 is 11/19. So she was excited about that, and I think like the time was like 10:30, so that's like 13 or 4 or 11/11, something like that. Really good numerology. But that may be what the celebration card is about, like the good news that's headed her way. Something old here that she has to let go of. She is a fire sign. Actually, they both are. She's a Sagittarius and he's an Aries. So this is an indication perhaps of fire and air. Air sign may be involved in whatever it is that has to be let go. Not necessarily, but it's possible, of course. What is most important is whatever is being held on to is blocking a space where something new is meant to come in. So if it's something physical, like sometimes we got to, let's say like a car, for example, holding on to your old car. And then some people will have an experience where they'll have like a terrible accident. They'll be completely fine, but like the car's total is because you kept holding on to it. And finally the universe was like, you know what? I'm taking this car. Like I've been trying to get you to get rid of it for a long time. That's what I was talking about, like with the world and the tower. Like sometimes the universe comes in. But other times, you know, if it's not something like that, like of the material, it could be emotions that we're holding on to, and you know that's blocking our abundance. So as soon as we release those things, release any fear or ego, pride and stuff, it opened up a space for what it is we do want to come in, heaven on earth. And so right, so that we can experience heaven on earth is the point. All right, opening to balance, which is a very temperance-like card. Temperance in the traditional tarot does represent her sign, Sagittarius. Here, it is more like an air and water kind of card. And speaking of air and water, opening to healing sounds as well. That might be something that could help her to not only come into balance, but maybe to release whatever it is she's holding on to that, you know, cause that heaven on earth card to show up. Balance. Oh, eternal flame. And here's another very temperance-like card, and it's called Embrace. And it looks like a couple in a very loving embrace. But no, it's not actually. It's one person's inner masculine and feminine coming together into balance harmoniously. So that's very important here. Like more healing needed for her. Maybe something from the past, again, perhaps having to do with an air sign, air, earth, water. So maybe Mercury and, you know, like say Virgo. And like Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo, for example. Venus rules, you know, both or all three, Libra, Gemini, and Taurus. The water. The water could be indicative of the water bearer too. Maybe an Aquarius is involved. We got all these stars here. Just trying to give you some possibilities. It could just be something from your past, something from your childhood. And this could also, again, be showing up because of like the retrograde. You know how retrogrades is when a planet appears to be going backward, and they sort of force us to go backward and go, you know, and address things from our past and sometimes all the way back to our childhood. So that could be what this is indicative of, you know, like the need to do that in order to heal an issue, maybe fill a void, so that you're able to move on. Inner child. Here's more of this air and earth. Again, this can be an actual, you know, earth sign and or air sign showing up in your reading. On either side, this can be like from the masculine's people or, you know, or your people. Could go either way or both. Or it can be indicative of like Venus, especially in her role as Mother Nature, but also, again, her role as a ruler of both air and earth, or Mercury and his capacity as a ruler of both air and earth as well. And it also is about the need for you to spend some time in nature, with nature. If you can't do that, like to sort of bring nature to you, maybe surround yourself with, you know, plants or, you know, animal life and things of that nature, and to do some meditation. Overall energy is reflection. So there's a need to look around at your life, you know, look back, which can be connected to the cards we just saw, right? And perhaps something from childhood popping up, rearing its head. But also it's about looking forward. Our dreams, our goals, what do we have to do to achieve them? Divine feminine. The masculine as it relates to the feminine. Himself. The union as a whole. Overall. What the masculine would have the feminine do toward the union, what he himself is willing to, the universe would have the two do, and the outcome. Divine feminine. Oh, love. Yeah, so just like, this is kind of like what we talked about and what I, sort of tried to summarize before I started the reading. It's a matter of making up your mind, deciding to be happy, as opposed to, up and down and all around, deciding to be happy and being honest with yourself about what your feelings are. And if those feelings are love, then just be that. Just be love, be in love, and, sort of simultaneous to, in spite of, like whatever, everything else around you sort of like doesn't matter. It can join you in being in love or it cannot. But you remain, like that's what, where your heart is, and that's where your head is. So I like that showing up. Masculine relates to the feminine. Guardian, it's this fire too. He's like a protector. Like a protector. She's safe with him, is what he would want her to know there. It's like sort of like that I got you, even though sometimes it feels like people don't have our back, especially in these, situations, these connections, relationships, unions, because we do go through these periods of separation and sometimes no contact, right, during those periods of separation, and you have to experience things alone. And it's just like, does anybody, including like, this so-called divine partner, even have my back? So this is saying yes. And we also have to remind ourselves like, oh, well, the reason, we go into separation, it's not an individual's conscious decision. I'm going to go into separation. If it was, we wouldn't all do it. It's a template. It's the powers that be, that it's just part of the whole deal that, we committed to at that soul level. Blame yourself for being, or your own soul for being crazy enough to get into this, The masculine about himself. Birth. So going through this period, this process of like starting over. And it makes sense. His sign, there's been a lot of activity in his sign. And a lot of the retrogrades have been impactful upon the sign of Aries. And his ruler, Mars, has been one of the signs to be in retrograde for a long time. Where? It was retrograde in Capricorn, of all places. So that sort of restriction and that stifling energy. So if he experienced some shifts and, wasn't always the 100% man that you're used to him being, I cut him a little bit slack. Really. That should finally be over. Mars is currently in Pisces. So we talked a couple of weeks ago. Last week, was it last week? Last week, I think, the general reading, we talked about what that meant. What it meant for Mars to be in Pisces. So I'm sure you've seen it. About the union as a whole, relationship. It's about working on one's relationship with themselves first, which is what we talked about in your last reading. Each, like sort of working on their issues and things that they had going on in their lives, maybe separate and apart from one another. Working on the relationship with yourself, and then the relationships with others will be improved as well. Overall, the heaven on earth is back. So definitely something of which we need to let go, that working on our relationship with ourselves can help that, because that's going to help us to, in combination with this, with our overall energy, this reflection is going to help us to come to realize, it hadn't really clicked before that I was holding on to this, or that this was holding me back, or I was standing in my own way. But now I see it, right? We can have these aha moments and these revelations, and then let go of these things so that our abundance can flow. What the masculine would have the feminine do toward the union, it's celebration. It's celebration, like deciding to be happy. Isn't that what I said here? Deciding to be in love, like regardless of everything else that may or may not be going on, or your perception of what's going on or not. He wants the same thing for you. Deciding to be happy and just being joyful. What is he willing to do? Work on this abundance flow. Work on this abundance flow. He's got to spend time with Mother Nature also. Perhaps retreat, but there's something that has to be unblocked. Working on the relationship with himself can help to do that. And so can allowing, for death and rebirth too. And then the natural sort of organic cycles through which we must go. What the universe will have the to do, you're going to have to affirm, commit to it. But it will support you, is letting go of this fear. This is the stuff that I was talking about. The regret, the guilt, the resentment. Anytime we begin to get like confused, like, well, what if I'm not doing the right thing? And what if this has been a waste of time? And what, if you really felt that way, then you would really feel that way. And it would just be, you have the right to that genuine feeling. But when it just pops up, like in a moment of anxiety, that's fear. So those are the things we want to let go of. And that's attached also, of course, to the relationship with ourselves, to nurturing ourselves, to facing our demons and all those things. Releasing negative cords of attachment and negative emotions that are holding us back in our other relationships. They're getting in the way of our growth. And the outcome. Answered prayer. You do those things, you follow the guidance, you relax and surrender, and your dreams come true. Your dreams come true. And then you see here, there's also this energy of like a death and rebirth. It's sitting here under this card too, the birth and the guardian. So it's like a guardian angel. Here's the butterfly, having gone through a transformation, death and rebirth. Here's another star, so Aquarius, and it's right over her throat chakra, like something, she did get something off her chest, as they say. And then that allows for her dreams to come true. From a perspective of the universe, again, we're beginning with young male and opening to beauty queen. Beauty queen is like a Venus energy for me, because Venus is the goddess and planet of beauty. Opening to dating queen, which is sort of like a 3 of fire sort of thing. Young male. And beauty queen again. On that note, I'll go ahead and cut. Young male. And it's like a 2 of cups under this moon. We do have a full moon coming up very soon. The full moon, 0 degrees Gemini. I think that's going to be super interesting. It is on the 23rd of this month. So 10 days. 10 days. Right now, we're still enjoying the energy of the Scorpio new moon. Overall energy is soulmate. This would be divine couple, recent past. Masculine higher self, near future, blocks to the union, what the feminine can do, the masculine can do, further advice from the universe and what it will help you to do, like fully support you in if you first affirm to it, and the outcome. Divine couple. Communication. All right, I like this for you guys. So, and I know you like this too. Because you're like, well, we're not calling each other. But, I get it. I'm not, making fun of you or not understanding you. I just know that you're happy to be in communication. Recent past. fun times, getting together, going out, spending time together, even if you don't go anywhere. All right, just spending time together, and even that communication, fun times. Near future, might come up again. Might come up again. This time you should be prepared, like you know how to deal with it. I think that this actually came up in another client reading I did in this placement. Near future, short-term heartache or delay or pause. And again, I think it's connected to retrograde, Mercury in particular. That's what Mercury does. But also, I think this came up in the reading I did in connection to King Osiris and the Prophet Muhammad too, which I said was covering the period of the 18th through the 22nd, in which case Mercury retrograde will be in full effect, having started on the 16th. So that's probably what it is, and especially crossing the communication. Mercury, Gemini, the great communicator of the zodiac, and it is retrograde in your sign, Sagittarius, so that you may be affected. Masculine's higher self, gossip. So this could be drama, it could be actual gossip or whatever surrounding him, something with which he has to deal, or just like Five of Swords kind of energy. Five of Swords, even Five of Wands. Other blocks, it's always, these funky cards always crossing like where the blocks are too. Blocks. Fair male. So you know that this is the karmic, represents the sort of karmic type of energy for me. That might be an actual male, but doesn't, or actual person, period. Doesn't, although it does not have to be. It can just be an energy of restriction and you know, something from which we have to break free. Toxicity, perhaps. It's the Capricorn energy for me, the quote-unquote devil from the traditional tarot. And this is where his sign had been, like I said, for a long time. Mars, his ruler rather, had been retrograde in Capricorn for some time. It is out, but that's the kind of energy that I'm talking about he may have to deal with again. And you see it crossing the short term. It could very well have something to do with this, with whatever this delay is, or again, drama, difficulty. But what you can do, so you can have your own obstacles to deal with. But when this is like this, when this turns up in this placement, for me, it's like it's an obstacle that we have the ability to move out of our own way. So it's like, what can you do for yourself? You can pick this boulder up and push it, you know, this rock or whatever, and push it out of the way. You don't have to allow it to sit in front of you. What about the masculine? What he can do, he's got a karma issue, a karmic issue. What did I just say about this guy? He represents the karmic energy for me in this deck. That's what it is. So if there's a short-term pause or something, like, you know, not to panic, which is the good thing about, you know, predictive reading. This definitely feels like the deja vu. I definitely talked about this in the King Osiris, Prophet Muhammad reading. What the universe would have the two of you do, and it will help you with it. It will fully support you. And this is children. So this is like working on your new beginnings. It's a very Empress-like energy for me, like the Empress in the tarot, which as it relates to the signs represents the sign of Libra, Gemini, and Taurus. But it's about fresh starts. It's about abundance, big time coming your way. Just fertile energy. Like you're able to, you're very creative when the Empress shows up, feeling very attractive. You are very attractive to other people. You're just very Empress-like. And the outcome, open relationship. This is about being able to live and or love as you choose. So moving closer to this, if not actually being there after having dealt with some sort of karmic issue. So we'll see what that means for you soon, I think. With the Angel Tarot, I'm going to begin with the Ace of Air, which you know shows up when somebody is not only experiencing a new beginning, but one that may have been difficult getting to. So it's like victory after after, trouble, difficulty, triumph over, like stumbling blocks and stuff. Brilliant new ideas and inspirations, seeing the truth of a situation and a challenging beginning. There could be some sort of truth or something that has to come out about, that's impactful, affects you guys. And that may be what the gossip card was about too. Opening 2, major arcana card, the Dreamer, 0. Didn't I say the moon is going to be 0 degrees Gemini? This card represents the sign of Gemini as well as Virgo for me, because it represents Mercury for me. Always has since I got this deck. Don't ask me why, but it does. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams, that leads to unexpected opportunities. So this is a brand new path for you to walk. Ace of Air. Oop. And the 2 of Earth, which can have to do with making some sort of decision or trying to juggle, 2 situations, perhaps too much going on. There's a need to make a decision, consider a more playful approach. Also, deja vu from hell, as you know. But the 9 of Fire, whatever this represents, the 9 of Fire tells us to keep going. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. So it's saying like we can handle the 2 or more things if that's the case. Ace of Air. And the King of Earth, generous, professional, responsible, and practical. A successful time. Confidently accept opportunities you're offered. You have the Midas touch. The King of Earth is a Capricorn. Again, that energy that just showed up maybe. A Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. Or a Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. Or just someone likened to those traits or attributes too. When the King of Earth shows up, more importantly than what sign he is, it means abundance is on its way to you. And major arcana card 4, the Emperor, which does represent your masculine sign, because it represents the planet Mars, which is his ruler. So Aries, Scorpio. Organization and logic, structure and discipline, also leadership, taking back control of your own life perhaps. And maybe that's a difficult beginning, but a beginning nonetheless. Maybe somebody was trying to manipulate him prior. Ace of Air. And the 9 of Air. This is fear. Expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies, sleepless nights. It can be literal sleepless nights too, like you need to get some rest, which I feel might be the case here as well. And we go from the Ace of Air to the Knight of Air, which can indicate a need to make a decision, or that we're awaiting like a decision and answer. Intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options so you can come up with creative solutions. The Knight of Air is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, as someone likened to those traits or attributes. Overall energy is the 5 of Fire. Just like I said with the masculine's higher self before, that it could be like 5 of Swords or 5 of Wands. Here goes the 5 of Wands. That's the gossip card. And it is, you're both fire signs, so it's tied to fire. I can't say like who it is, but I just feel it's tied. This card can, it can be Mars, right? For me, which again is your masculine's ruler. It can be a card if they need to take some sort of action too, not just about competition or fighting or, stress, drama. We'll see. So far I feel it's connected to that gossip card that represented his higher self a moment ago. Crowning the masculine is the Ace of Water. Very nice. Falling in love, or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth and enhanced intuition, maybe even a new home. This can be, I mean, you guys not only restoring your relationship, but I don't want to say restoring, because not like that makes it sound like it had fallen apart when it never has. but it's like a new surge to it. Again, that new beginning that we saw with represented by that was your outcome in the last spread, represented by like that very Empress-like energy. That's what this is coming through as too. But it's a new beginning one way or another. And it can be more than one new beginning, I would imagine, for the masculine, that is going to be, extremely emotionally fulfilling for him. He is surrounded by the Four of Earth, being too frivolous or too cautious with money, good business decisions, and giving to those less fortunate. It doesn't have to be with money. It can be emotions too. It could be yourself, like giving too much of yourself, withholding too much of yourself. And I do feel that for him, at least in part, it's connected to that Emperor, which is also a 4, right? The Emperor is Major Arcana card 4. And, like manipulative energy that maybe he does give too much of himself sometimes to people don't necessarily deserve it. But here in his subconscious and what he's focused is the Two of Fires. Of course, he's one of these fire signs and you're the other. You've come into your own new partnerships or contracts. Continue to move forward. Two of Fire, the divine union card of the tarot. You are crowned by a 2 as well. So we have like a 2 mirroring a 2. It is Major Arcana card 20, renewal or judgment in the traditional tarot. Review and evaluate a favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. It's mirroring his Ace of Water, and this would be Water 2, represents the planet Pluto, the sign of Scorpio. And so this can be like new life in your relationship too, just as the Ace of Water represents, which is very nice. You feminine surrounded by the 7 of Air. Ugh, this one is not one of my favorites though. Plans that need revision, more going on than meets the eye, and poor timing. This is like the energy of joy stealing, something trying to take away your happiness, like this kind of happiness. This kind of happiness can be sometimes physical theft or loss, of items and things. Let's see what else comes up. Okay. I like this too. This water mirroring this water. In your subconscious, we have the Page of Water, intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase, and there's heightened psychic abilities. The Page of Water tends to represent for me the sign of Pisces. But can also be a Scorpio, a Cancer, or someone just likened to those traits or attributes, making some sort of offer of love, sending an emotional message, a loving message or something. Union crowned by the 3 of Fire. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience this time and make long-term plans. Which is nice. It's a nice progression from the 2 of Fire. Because the next is the 4 of Fire. That's like we're really making plans together. This is we're skipping over the 4 because our overall energy is the 5. So that's interesting. One of the 4 is here too. At the root, it is the Page of Air, logical, honest, impulsive, and curious, challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. So this is, I feel, is Mercury. The Page of Air represents for me the sign of Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. It can also be Libra, Aquarius, but as the page, it's the more youthful to Gemini. And I do feel that it is connected to, again, Mercury retrograde. So that may be a reason to, while thinking positively, but also while there's some pause, there's some delay because of this. And that this could also be the energy of joy stealing, right? Mercury retrograde slips in and it just makes things sometimes uncomfortable for us, right? It causes us delays. It causes us problem with travel. It causes us, like car trouble and stuff. It causes us problems with electronics and different things going wrong. Like all of a sudden I'm clumsy and I'm making all kinds of mistakes and I drop my, my computer. It's just crazy. It's just crazy sometimes. So I think that that's what this is about. At the heart of the matter, is Major Arcana card Release with Archangel Azrael. It's the end of a phase or a situation. Spiritual transformation. So it's that Scorpio energy again that we just saw, that I made note of with the butterfly. This is the transformation. It's time to move on from like the old stuff and allow for this new that we keep seeing coming up. Ace of Water, Judgment, And to get further clarity from these, I'll take a peek at romance angels, beginning with honeymoon, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together, and opening to this could be the one you've already met, the romantic partner you seek. This could be the one. New love, right? That's your new start. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. Of course, your new person is your old person, but it's with new energy, new healthier energy. This could be the one. You're just going to have to trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. This could be the one. Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. Overall energy is religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. This often has all kinds of different meanings for me. Right now, it is connected to some sort of ideology that we wish we didn't follow. You know, it's like we feel stuck. And this is probably that karmic devil energy that was showing up in the last spread, where somebody's feeling stuck in an old belief system and they really rather live in an open relationship. They'd really rather live how they choose, how they want to, but they don't know how to get out of their situation and move on, right? The heart of the matter, we have moving on. We have the need to allow some old thing to die, and so that we can be, you know, blessed with this new thing. And we don't know how to let go of the old thing, how to move on from it. Atop the Ace of Water. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. You might be saying like, how are we ever going to get this relationship like on track, like 100%? You know, when I do feel stuck, for example, let's say with something, the universe, the romance angels are kind of saying like, leave that to us, you know. Atop the Four of Earth. Honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Calmer, stiller waters, like new, healthier energy coming with the Six of Air kind of, and the Six of Swords type of energy. And you can see there's no waves here. It's just very smooth sailing ahead. Atop the Two of Fire. Past life relationship. Of course it is. You have known each other before. Absolutely. Just another indication of the divine union. Atop renewal or judgment is calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So it's like praying, like for souls in purgatory, right? That's what the judgment card in the traditional tarot and the Rider-Waite, it looks like souls that are in purgatory. In this case, it's soulmate. Praying for that. And because we keep our focus, positive intention on it, that's what's coming to us. Atop that funky Seven of Swords that I'm not a fan of is soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. So yeah, it's the joy and happiness that you feel is, of course, connected to this. And we have these two cards sitting one atop the other, the calling in your soulmate and the actual soulmate. But what may cause friction, I'm going to say, in the meantime, and even possibly, you know, delay, break, pause, separation, briefly, temporarily, is Mercury retrograde. So just be mindful of that. And perhaps you can avoid it, you know, having been like sort of forewarned that something funky may come up. Atop the Page of Water. Give your relationship a chance. It's here in your, like, don't go through those thoughts again of maybe I should give up. Right? This is on your mind here. Give your relationship a chance and work on your partnership instead. Atop the Three of Fire, where it asks us to be patient, right? Patient at this time. The romance angels are saying it's going to be worth waiting for. You know, if you go, please be patient. It's going to be worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. That's why you got to be patient. Atop the page of air, what I say? Boom. Separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. So it may happen. You guys may have a brief pause or something. But I always say, like, temporary can be minutes, you know. Don't hold me to a time, but it's not a permanent situation. And I do connect it to Mercury. And I think that this does too. When I said it in advance, and now here it is atop the page of air, which I said represents Mercury, Gemini. Right? And lastly, atop Major Arcana card, Death. Deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. Where's my cards? All right, so on that one, let's do a little clarification. This is the next upright card. I think basically what it's saying is someone is lying to themselves about, you know, having already let go of whatever it is they need to let go. And like, you know, moving on as if, you know, well, I did my healing. I put in my work. Like, no, there's something else to work on. But let's see what the next upright card is. Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. The need to call on the angels, or maybe to be more social, to spend time with other people. It could be both. And why? Because you deserve love. You are lovable. Here is the very Sagittarian energy. So this is probably for you during any period of separation, like to not fall into that, I don't want to say depression, but you know what I mean. Like you can continue to be happy, just like the other spread said, like, and what the masculine spread said, where what can you do? What would he have you do? And I said, he wants you to like decide to be happy. It's like that. So you can go out with other friends, spend time with other friends, or talk to other friends, hit me up or whatever, we'll chat. Or you're calling the angels, let your friends help you. Let's see what this one is too. I'm being greedy now. It is finances and career. So it could be representative of an earth energy or an earth sign. Maybe again, that Capricorn restrictive energy, which I would say again is attached to separation. Can also be like work on your finances, your material life in this time too. Like while you're on break, like, you know, I mentioned car before. I'm just throwing out example, car, home. Like that's the time for you to focus on those things for yourself. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. I didn't feel anything about a car. I was just trying to give you an idea of what I meant by like material life. Masculine, for him, he's getting this card again about relationship and working on the relationship with himself. So I find that interesting. For you, it is Guardian. And I didn't take the cards that were on the bottom here. You see here on the bottom is where I had put the cards that we just saw. I took it from the top. And I shuffled them up a little bit. So that's interesting. But you, this is sort of like let your friends help you. You're getting that twice over. There are people, you know, for or entities upon which you can call when you need support. For the masculine, more Mercury perhaps, more Venus. It's the king of air. Brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice and balance mental and emotional considerations. The king of air is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. It can also be some sort of professional into which you come into contact, a lawyer, a judge, a doctor, something, you know, again, a professional. For you, even if you don't see anything happening, even if you do come into this, you know, brief period of pause or what appears to be one pause, delay, separation even. Always know that there's stuff going on behind the scenes. Events are moving at a fast pace and really delays are over. Many things are happening at once. The Eight of Fire is also about communication. And for me, has always been similar to, you know, like a Cupid kind of energy. Like I see these as like arrows, like Cupid's arrows coming at you, just like this one. So it's very interesting. This Sagittarian energy could be Jupiter that's doing these things for you, that's making things happen behind the scenes. Jupiter, the planet of growth and expansion and karma, and your ruler as a Sagittarius. And the hashtag creepy deck to the masculine passion. So another very fiery card, pursuing what and who, you know, we love and about which we are passionate. Like what drives us, what moves us. I love that. For you, travel, which is a, it's kind of like the Chariot card for me, which represents the sign of Cancer and is connected to me to things like retrograde and revisiting situations, but also just moving in general, moving like to a new home, finances and career, metaphoric movement as well, or travel. From the romance angels to the masculine, playfulness to recapture romance. Allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. Maybe he should try being a little bit more Sagittarius-like too, you know, for a change. Let go, let his like Aries hair down, relax, don't be so serious. And lastly, for you, attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully, deciding to be happy. The romance angels concur. I hope that you've enjoyed your reading. Namaste, angel.